Hello everyone, I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Bianca.
And welcome back to the Preservice PODSQUAD podcast for another Motivational Monday episode. Today we're going to be providing you some motivation to take care of yourself and to practice some self-care practices. But first, I want to shout out NJEA and TCNJ, the Student New Jersey Education Association, and I want to let everyone know that if you're a pre-service student right now at a college or university in New Jersey, please look into joining your local chapter of NJEA Preservice at your school. A lot of schools already have them around the state, but if your school does not have a chapter already, you can always contact us and we're more than willing to help you start a chapter at your local college. So definitely get involved at the local level. That's ways that you can get involved at the state level and the national level as well. And it just opens up a lot of great opportunities to improve your process of becoming an educator. So first, we're going to be talking about an image today. That's kind of what our discussion is going to be based on. Yeah. And so I was going through Instagram, and sometimes you're just looking for motivation. Maybe that's why you're listening to Motivational Monday. And I found this image of a coffee cup, and it says in really pretty letters, "You can't pour from an empty cup, take care of yourself." So I think that's really important. I think it applies to us as pre-service educators. What do you think that means?
Well, first of all, Chelsea, I'm just looking at this image and, it's like a navy blue mug. And the fact that all the letters there, all the text is in rainbow colors just makes me feel a lot better. I feel like that was already enough positive energy for me right there. But, on a more serious note, I feel like what this image is sort of reminding people is that, you can't constantly keep giving up so much of your energy if you have no energy, if you are this empty cup. And, I think this analogy is like educators are constantly pulled in different directions, every which way, whether it's you're at school or your personal life. And you always have to find ways to take care of yourself and, relieve your stress in whatever way is most suitable for you and, how you can make sure you are taking care of your being. And you can't constantly keep giving everything you got if you have nothing left to give in your cup, in your coffee cup. And I feel like if this is important, that's why we wanted to share it with everybody, because so often as educators we want to put everything that we have into the job. We care so much about the people in our community, in our school, and it's difficult to sort of manage your own stress and personal life, and also come to a school community and give everything you got every day. So it's important just to take time and remember to de-stress, relax, and find those practices that work best for you.
Yeah. And I feel like a big piece of self-care is just equipping yourself for the most successful day that you can have and the most successful week that you can have. And so we want to kind of propose to you some ideas that you can try to implement more into your daily practices of how you can best equip yourself for the week. That's perfect because it's Monday. So the first idea that we have is getting enough sleep. And I know that's really tough. So Bianca, do you have any suggestions of how you can get the most amount of sleep?
I gotta be honest with you. This is something I personally struggle with. Sleep. I find myself either, being like, okay, it's 10 o'clock, I gotta go to sleep, or it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I really need to go to sleep right now. But getting sufficient sleep makes such a difference. Sometimes you negotiate with yourself. It's like, oh, an hour here, an hour there, it's fine. I can survive. But it's so important. I feel so much more refreshed in the morning if I get a full 8 hours or, 9 hours if we're really talking, we're getting lucky. But I feel like for me, it's setting alarms during the day, when around 10 o'clock, having an alarm on your phone that tells me, hey, I should be kind of wrapping up my day now. It's time to start heading to sleep soon, or whatever time works best for your schedule. But that's what I would say. I think sleeping and eating well would be the best practices that you can do just for your body and your well-being. But yeah, what about you, Chelsea? Food-wise, do you do anything that helps you manage your eating schedules and things like that?
Yeah, I think for me, a lot of people skip meals. Don't skip meals. It's very important. You need all 3 meals, and breakfast is the most important, especially because that's when you're getting your jump start for the day. So even if it's just something small, I'll try my best to have like a protein bar or granola bar in the morning. It's easy to skip breakfast because you could be getting up so early to go to your practicum experience or your clinical. And so it can be tough to eat at like 6:30 in the morning, but it is really important to have something. And I think another thing for me is sometimes if I don't eat enough at one meal or I'm eating meals like too far apart, I start to feel like lightheaded and just tired and not really motivated to do anything. And so I try to equip myself for the best day possible by always having some kind of snack on me. So that could be an extra protein bar, a bag of pretzels, just including that in the bag that you take with you to classes or to your clinical experiences. That could kind of set you up for success throughout the day. If you need a little pick-me-up, then at least you have something on you. I would say that's the best way that I make sure that I have nutritious food throughout the day. Another thing is it can be very overwhelming to transition between different periods, especially if you're at the secondary level. I know we're both secondary education majors. It's hard to transition between classes because you're not spending time with the same group of students throughout the entire day. You're seeing different groups of students almost every hour. So it's tough to make that transition. So how do you suggest kind of making it through the day when you have so many different periods that you're rotating to, or even if you're at the elementary level and you're with a group of students for the full day, you're still jumping between subjects. So how do you suggest just kind of making it through all those transitions?
Yeah, I think it's definitely difficult in the first place because, people cycle through different levels of energy throughout the day. So, the students that you have in the morning are not going to be the same, they're not going to have the same energy level as the students coming in after lunch. I think it's important to sort of take a few moments before class begins, like any class period that you have throughout the day, just to sort of ground yourself. If that means doing a short breathing exercise or physically just placing your left foot and your right foot firmly on the ground and just taking a breath before you go into a new class period. I think it's really important for our mental health as educators, but also, for students to see that it's okay if you need a minute. You can't be go, go, go all the time. It's okay for your teachers to take a second to get back into it too, because we are also people.
Yeah.
And we also have fluctuating levels.
What I like about what you just said is that it's okay for students to know that sometimes you need a minute. And I think that's you demonstrating, you practicing self-care on yourself. And so it's showing them that it's okay to practice self-care for themselves too. And it's just kind of showing them that you're human and you need to take care of yourself. And so do they. So I think that was a great example.
That's exactly right. But aside from students, I guess, do you think that it would be possible to do this with the fellow teachers and the staff in the building, or do you think that's a little bit harder to do?
Yeah, I think everyone should just kind of be on the same page, that you're there as a team, you're working together, you all want to get through the day, and just giving yourself grace, I think, is really important, and communicating with your colleagues. Maybe they understand that you need a minute or two in between classes, or you need a second just to step into the bathroom, maybe having someone cover your class for a few moments. You just need to help each other out, and I think that's the best way that you can build a solid school community.
Definitely. I think it's important that, whenever possible, you're also taking, if you like to be outside, I guess I should say, that you take a chance to go outside during your lunch break, or with your students, taking them out in front of the school or in the back of the school, wherever there's maybe a sitting area, or even sitting on the grass just to do class outside, maybe one day or every now and then, can definitely be good rather than sitting in an office or sitting in a closed classroom. It's nice to get some fresh air or, feel sunshine too during the day. It can definitely help everyone clear their mind.
Yeah, as long as the weather is nice, I think educators should try to bring their classes outside as much as possible. My high school had these different courtyards where there were picnic tables. So when there was nice weather, we went outside a lot. And it was just nice to kind of get outside of the building, sit outside for a while. I honestly felt more motivated to do work because we were just in a different setting. You're switching it up. You're sitting in the building all day, every day. So a change of scenery is nice. So I think that is really important for self-care for yourself and for your students. That could kind of help everyone out. Something else that I want to talk about is that a lot of times it's hard to build that boundary between your work life and your home life and not bringing too much work home with you. I know sometimes it's inevitable. You kind of need to do things at home, but we really suggest that you do your best to build that boundary and build separation. I think that's what's best for your mental health. But we also understand that sometimes it can be very overwhelming. And we do want to mention that if you ever needed to talk to someone or you just needed some help, advice, guidance, as a part of your NJEA Preservice membership, you do have the opportunity to take advantage of the AID-NJEA program. And that's an amazing program that's a partnership with the Rutgers University Behavioral Healthcare. And essentially, if you needed anything at any point, you felt like you were getting too overwhelmed, it's a 24/7 hotline from the weekdays of Monday through Thursday. There's always going to be an educator or school counselor who's on the line from noon until 8 p.m. And then that's from noon until 6 p.m. on Fridays. But then after those hours, there's still behavioral healthcare professionals who are on the line if you ever need them. So that's free with your NJEA Preservice membership. I think that's an excellent opportunity to take advantage of, and we really recommend it if you feel like you just need someone to talk to.
Definitely. It's really, really a good support system since it is 24/7. So, anytime that you are feeling in a crisis or you're feeling sort of alone, definitely take advantage of AID-NJEA.
I think one other thing that I want to mention of ways to practice self-care for yourself and your students is music. I think music is so powerful to integrate into the classroom. So do you have any suggestions of how to use music for self-care?
Yes, oh my gosh, I love music. I listen to so many genres of music. It's wild. I think listening to music, it helps stress relieving, especially when you're giving your students work. It's nice to let them listen to like some jazz music or some classical music while they're doing group work or just in class assignments. And you can even let them choose what music they want to listen to, like let them provide recommendations. They're feeling in the mood for rock music or something, play that for them in the classroom. But it builds a deeper connection, and I think even outside of the classroom, listening to music while you're driving or exercising, or you're just doing something around the house, it can be nice to listen to music. And music is like a little rhythm for our lives, so getting in a different rhythm, a more upbeat rhythm, or whatever emotions you're feeling can be nice. It's like a change of pace.
Yeah, some of my favorite teachers played music in the classroom. It just kind of made it more comfortable to be there. It made you more motivated to do work, and that's the kind of classroom environment that I want to foster when I'm a teacher. So I hope that other people kind of use music as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've been in a classroom before where I've seen like the teacher ask what music the students wanted to listen to that day, and they were all for like heavy metal. Like they started off listening to like easygoing rocks and like Led Zeppelin, but they were so into it, and you should have seen like how well they were doing their work, and very much like relaxed because they were listening to something that they were familiar with, and it was cool to watch.
Yeah, that's the power of music.
Yeah, exactly. So let your students choose what music they want to listen to.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Motivational Monday. I appreciate you being here. Just a reminder, you cannot pour from an empty cup.
That's
so
right.
Please take care of yourself.
Yes, always find ways to de-stress and to remind yourself to ground yourself and do whatever it is that you need to take a break and relax whenever possible. So thank you so much for listening. And we are so excited to see you guys next week.
See you next week.